Welcome, everyone. We are live. Pardon my tardiness. I had to log in a few times. Yeah, it wouldn't load earlier. Technology, you gotta love it. But anyway, it is Thursday. I'm a little bit tired because, we worked day and night. I digress. Somebody said, well, if it's so easy, why is everybody not doing it? Everybody is doing it. Everybody is already doing it. We already live according to the things we believe. We already live according to the things we believe. I was in a space on an audio room the other day, and it is interesting to just listen to people. It really is. And it is intriguing how we walk with things from the past. And we walk with these things and we know that we are, but we don't know that we're walking with them. It's very intriguing. It makes me look at myself and go, wait a minute. What are you still holding on to? What kind of baggage are you still holding on to? It really does make you check yourself. You know, that's the thing. Why is everybody not deliberately doing it? We're not deliberately doing it because we don't know. Because we don't know. See, this is the thing with awareness. When you are aware of something, you act accordingly. When you don't know, you can't do what you don't know, right? So naturally, we only do what we know. We learn what we do not know. If we have a desire, that is. It's okay, itty bitty. It's okay. He's a little restless this morning, but that's all right. The girls are right outside the door. They're just tucked into the corner outside my bedroom door. I cannot believe it. But anyway, you see, it is so easy that we don't know we're doing it. Yesterday, how many coincidences did you experience? I experienced too many to count. The one that gets me is when I'm at work and the radio is on. And as soon as I'm finished writing a particular word, like as soon as the pen stops on the page, they say that word on the radio. It doesn't matter what word it is. It gets me every time. I'm like, this is really tripped out, is what I say. Because sometimes the words are so, like if you say claim or if you say, what was the one word that got me? Billing. It was somebody's name. And there it was on the radio. And I'm like, wait, what? So anyway, there were many coincidences. But do you remember what a coincidence is? What do you say when you experience a coincidence? You say, oh my God, I was just thinking of you, or you were on my mind, or I was just thinking to call you, but you beat me to it. Everything we say about a coincidence is coming from a place of, well, I had that inside of me first, and now here it is on the outside. And it is so easy. Everybody's doing it. Pardon me. Oh my. But it goes that way for changing our lives as well. It really does. That's like a young lady I know. I'm not going to call her name, but she is now traveling and doing what she loves. Whereas before, she felt stuck. She felt like, "Ugh, I don't know what I want to do with my life." And she messaged me and said, what are your thoughts? I said, what are yours? It's not what my thoughts are. What are your thoughts? She goes, I never guessed that. She goes, I guess I never saw it that way. I'm like, I know we don't see it that way, but that's the way it is. And so now, my girl, as my grandfather would say, when your feet are itching, you're going to travel somewhere new that your feet have never touched before. So I say she's got itchy feet because she's traveling the world to places she's never been before. All because she changed her mentality. She just changed her mentality. What caused her to change her mentality? She was tired of being where she was. And she wanted something different. So she stopped looking at what she did not have and started looking towards what the possibilities were. And now there's a whole world of possibilities before her. So you see, my beautiful friends, today, if it is so easy, why is everyone not deliberately doing it? Because we've spent so long being told something else. Oh, don't be an artist. Artists don't make any money. As if the point of art is to make money. The point of art is to express the beauty that is there. But we've monetized everything. We have monetized everything because of where we live. And then we wonder why we're chasing all the time. Because that's the seed that has been planted within each and every one of us. Oh, you've got to get this. You've got to accomplish this. If you're this age and you haven't, well, then you're a loser. What? Says who? Why do we not question that? Why do we not question? Well, why do I have to be like everybody else? But we run ourselves ragged trying to compete with everybody else. When in actuality, there is no competition. Only the one you create, that is. But there isn't a competition. No two people are the same. I learned that from watching my dad and his identical twin. Oh, they allegedly look the same. They're these grown men in their 70s and people still can't tell them apart. And I'm like, because you're not looking. They don't look anything alike. At least to me, they don't. But they are identical. So no two people are the same. But it's funny when you speak to them on the phone, they sound exactly the same. But I still know my daddy. I know who he is, even in the dark. Even in the dark. Could be in a dark room and you see that shadow, that silhouette. I know who he is. You see, we have to take the time to look at ourselves and ask ourselves, what do you want? Like I do this all the time. Like when I'm at work and I need to figure something out, I start talking to myself. I'm like, okay, I need to accomplish this thing. This is the end result I need. What's the best course of action? And I get the answer. I've been doing that my whole life, asking myself, what do I do? I can't see, show me. I don't hear it. Tell me. It really is that simple. But sometimes we don't trust ourselves. And I've told you how to recognize your inner voice. Because there are two times, two, One, you will say, oh, shoot, I should have listened. Or you'll say, whew, sure glad I listened. Those two times. But where do they come from? Within you. If you hear go left or go right or wait or do this or do that, you'll hear it as clear as day. And that's what Daddy always says. He says, never go against your mind. I never understood what that meant when I was little, but I get it now. You don't go against your mind. And I would always say, why, Daddy? He said, because when you go against your mind, you make mistakes. You have to trust your inner guidance. Some people call it your higher self, but still they hold themselves separate from it. You cannot hold yourself apart from yourself. It's you, it's one and the same, right? So if it was so easy, it is that easy. What do you want to accomplish? It always starts the same. Even the farmer asks himself that question. What do I want to reap? What crops do I want? Everybody starts that way with the question, what do I want? Who do I want to be? Where do I want to go? We all start there. And when you ask yourself that question, remember, you're not asking that question so you can judge it. You're not asking that question so you can say, oh, please, that is so far-fetched. You're asking that question because you're truly seeking the answer. So when you ask that question, be honest with yourself. You know what you want. But when you say things like, well, I don't know, you're saying, I don't know because you don't know how it's going to unfold. Just like the farmer doesn't always know, this is why you refer to the farmer's almanac. Where's that rain going to come from? How many days of rain are you going to get? But that's a bad word around here, rain. Itty bitty, are you okay? They are trilling to each other this morning. It is rather interesting. I don't know if you can hear them, but I can hear them. But take some time, okay? And ask yourself. But when you ask, be honest with yourself. If you're afraid, say so. You think you don't know that you're scared? But what if I fail? Listen, that is an honest question. What if I fail? That's an honest question. But recognize where it's coming from. It's coming from a place of fear. Now, remember, the outcome of planting is reaping. So what do you have to fear? Actually nothing. The outcome of planting is reaping. So long as you plant, you will reap. Hands down, nothing else. Or as the young people say, period. As long as you plant, you're going to reap. It is irrelevant what you plant. So long as you plant it, you will reap. Mind you, some things take a little bit longer to grow than others, but that too is also irrelevant. The only thing that matters is, as long as you plant, you will reap. What are you planting in the garden of your mind? What are those inner conversations? I tell you the same thing every day. And you'd be surprised how many questions I still get. Well, I don't understand how to apply it to this particular situation. Listen, all situations are exactly the same. Hmm. Really? Yes, all situations are the same. They come from exactly the same place. The mental mood. They all are the same. So the solution, you can have, I got 99 problems, but a solution, right? Anyway, I digress. It doesn't matter what you think your problem is. The solution is always the same. What is the outcome you would prefer instead of what you presently have? That is always the question that leads us to the solution. It doesn't matter what your problem is. Health, wealth, uh, gainful employment, loving relationship. It doesn't matter what it is. Oh, these kids. It doesn't matter what it is. You have a troublesome child? What would you like that to be instead of troublesome? Well, you'd like him to listen. You'd like him to be obedient. You see, every situation has the same outcome. You want it to change. What do you want it to change to? So it doesn't matter what it is. People say, well, what if I'm bipolar? What is the desired outcome of your present situation? That is where we all start. And then you answer the question. But we like to muddy the water, don't we? Yeah, but that's not possible. But I got I got ADHD, I got ADD, I got OCD, I got this. Like, oh my word. That's not answering the question at all. That's giving all of the reasons why you cannot. I'm not interested in the reasons why you cannot. I'm only interested in the reasons that you can. But Angela, I don't know if I can. Then start to use your imagination. And how do you stimulate the imagination? By asking yourself, what would it be like if? And you insert, what would it be like if I didn't have this problem? What would it be like if my life were, peaceful? What would it be like? What would I be doing? This is how one stimulates the imagination. Because now you start thinking and say, well, if I were healthy, I would be. Well, what can't you do right now? Well, then, if you were healthy, would you not be doing that thing? Well, start to see yourself doing it. Remember the athletes that the scientists put the little probe cap on and hook them up to the computer and tell them, run the race in your head. What? Run the race in your head. They're telling you to visualize yourself running the race. And so some people close their eyes. But then you've got to be able to recognize the difference between thinking of a thing, like thinking that you're running the race, you're thinking about running the race, or actually running the race. There's a difference between those two things. When you think of something, you're just thinking of it. But when you're acting it out, you're no longer thinking about it, you're doing it. So that's what makes it easier, is to act it out. Because now you're not just thinking about it. You're not just thinking about it at all. Listen, I meet some of the most intriguing people working at the liquor store. I just do. I met a wedding planner last night. She was just lovely. She says to me, well, all these couples, I tell them one thing. Your day is not going to go as perfect as you want it to go, so you have to accept it. And I said, well, let me listen to see how this turns out. And she says, for all the couples that listen to me, they have the most fantastic day because they're not hung up on, oh my God, I got to micromanage every little thing. What if somebody says something I don't like? What if my mother embarrasses me? She's like, they are going to embarrass you. So get over that. And you know what she says? They have the most beautiful time and they take the most phenomenal photos. And for the others who are worried about, is this going to go right? Is this going to, they don't have a good time. Why not? because of what they're focused on. As within, so without. And she's a wedding planner practicing the principles because that's how we live. And this is truly, she just lit right up as she was telling me these things. And it's quite nice, you know. I've met some people who asked me for my number, and I was like, thanks, but no. I cannot, you know? So it's like you meet all types of people. And like I told you, there was only that one time I met one person. And that's why I keep telling you sometimes. You will encounter different people and situations, and they will run parallel to you. But you don't have to entangle with it. You always have that choice to look upon the situation from a different place instead of, because, oh, I'm sure I could have cussed him out, let me tell you. Oh, yes. Especially when he says, "Where's your manager?" And I was like, he's standing right behind you. I didn't have to do anything. But sometimes we get so caught up in the situation, we throw hands, right? We cuss people out. And then we wonder, I'm like, look, I could have done that as well, but why? Then what would that have done for my day? It would not have added to my day. It would have taken from my day. And I don't want to take from my day. I want to add beautiful things to my day. Listen, sometimes I have so much fun on the phones at work. I get people who call me back and say, "You just called me." And I say, "Yes, but who are you?" And I still have to ask that question at least 3 times. Yes, I know I just called you, but who are you? I've called many people within that 5-minute window. And they're like, "Oh, I am." And I'm like, that's what I needed to know. It's interesting. Why am I telling you all this? Because we get caught up in so many worries that bog us down, weigh us down. Listen, worries are going to sort themselves out. Why? Because every cause has its effect. So if you're fretting, well, fretting only ends in one way, more fretting. But if you say, well, what's the solution here? How do I want this to turn out? Well, you will see the ways that it can turn out. Oh, I don't have time for that. I need my solution now. Well, every vision has its appointed hour. Things take time. If you need the answer this instant, it is there in this instant. But because we muddy the water with our opinions of what we think is possible, we delay ourselves. Listen, it's all right. It really is. You might not believe me, and I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to test it for yourself. If you knew how many times I have failed at making sourdough bread, if you knew how many times I've had to throw a loaf out. So I took a break. I took a break and I said, okay, what are the basics of sourdough? Flour and water in equal amounts, fed the same time every day. That's it. If you start there, some days I'm an hour off, 2 hours off. I'm like, no, the same time every day. Choose a time that you can commit to feeding it. You think that's any different from the rest of our lives? No. If you say, I'm going to write this book and I'm going to commit to writing for 2 hours every day, well, you have to follow through with these things. Because if you don't follow through, you delay. And then what happens when we delay? Oh, oh. A little bit. Are you delayed? You're singing? I thought he was ready. We delay ourselves. That's why I always tell you, if you want to make a change, decide what you want to replace that old thing with. Take your time as you choose it. Take your time to answer the question, what would I be doing if? And you go through all of the scenarios that you can possibly come up with that you would naturally be doing. And you pick the one that feels the most natural for you that you would be doing. If you were living a life of leisure, you'd be getting up every day at the whatever time you wanted to get up at. And you'd be doing what you wanted because you were free. Naturally, that's what you'd be doing. Like a permanent holiday. So take your time to sort that part out. Don't rush it. Take your time. So that when you choose it, you will commit. Because it is in the commitment. When you commit to something and you follow through with it, the inevitable outcome is your satisfaction. But sometimes we get discouraged and we say, well, I've been doing this, I've been trying this for months and nothing has changed. Oh my word, how quickly we throw the towel in. This is why passion is required. Passion is a slow burning ember that keeps the dream alive within your bosom. That's exactly what passion is. Even the days where you might feel a little tired, your passion says, come along now, darling. You know we want this. Let's do it. And you say, yes, let's. And it doesn't matter how tired you are, you get up and you do it. Because you're passionate. Isn't that what they tell you? You do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life because it is passion. Not that you won't work, but that you will count it all joy that you do what you do. And it's not a burden to you. That's why. So what are you most passionate about? The passion is the fire that drives you. So, if it was so easy, remember that it is. I looked out the window and I saw that a weed was pulled off out of the garden. Oh, and I was like, did you pluck that weed? He was like, yeah. He goes, I have to use both hands. But it was in the crack of the pathway and the lawn. And I said, because that which is firmly rooted takes time to pluck out. Think about that. It didn't grow in the most secure of places, between the crevice between the pavement and the lawn. That's not the most secure of places to grow, but it anchored itself. And that's what we do. Oh my God, little bit, you're so cute. He's just trilling. That's what he's doing. Some would call it purring, but it's higher than that. I can't get up there this morning. My voice isn't warmed up. But that's what he's doing. I think it's because they're so close to him. Remember, Lady and Biscuit are right outside my bedroom door. My bedroom door is open, by the way. But they're sitting in the corner. That's where they are. And he knows that they're there. It's very intriguing. But anyway, remember. Oh, here he comes. Little bitch. Good morning, world. How can you not be excited when you hear that in the morning? I am truly excited every time he sings. Oh, and Biscuit is chiming in with his chirps too. Oh no, don't call him him, call him her. So, my beautiful friends, as you go through this day, don't waste any more time fretting about what presently is, especially if you don't want it to be that way. You ask yourself, what would I be doing if I were the man or the woman I wanted to be? And you begin to entertain the scenarios that come along with that. Yes. Entertain all the beautiful scenarios that you would possibly be doing, but one of them is going to stand out the most because it's what you'd be doing naturally. Because then it's not far-fetched, is it? No, you'd be doing it naturally. And once you'd be doing it naturally, you just allow your passion to be aroused, my friends. You see, I say that word to you, and sometimes our mind goes in the only place sometimes we think it should go. But it is exactly the same kind of arousal. It stirs you to action, does it not? Does it not? Well, allow it to stir you to the entertainment of what would it be like if I were the man or the woman I wanted to be. And when you get there, remember the inevitable outcome of planting. It is reaping. You planted that seed now. Mental impregnation. It's in your mind's eye. You planted it. Now nurture it. How do you nurture? Obviously, you nurture by not cussing it out, but by keeping a positive conversation with yourself, reminding yourself why you're doing it. Remember, like the dancer, practicing your steps incessantly in front of the mirror until you can only get it right. Don't make me do it. Get it right, get it tight. You know what? Let me stop. Because there's a song for just about everything. There is. So, just persist. Because think about it, sometimes we are persistently thinking of the worst case scenarios. Are we not? That's what we do sometimes. But what if you persistently thought of the best case scenario? Ooh, somebody's moving. Bob Marley says, stir it up, little darling, stir it up. Oh, yeah, that's what he says. So stir up that which is within you, my friends. That's what we call inspiration. Stir it up. Stir it up. And use your imagination wisely and to create the beautiful. So that way when you say, well, if it was so easy, then you remind yourself, it is so easy we are doing it and we don't know. Well, everybody, I'm not going to keep you. Yes, because somebody's saying, feed me, Seymour. Feed me, Mama, is what he says. So let's get them fed and watered, and I will get up and get ready. Oh, indeed. And I will get up and get ready. I do love you. Indeed, I do. So let us go forth on this glorious Thursday and enjoy the beauty that is. Don't ask me where the beauty is. Remember, as within, so without. If the beauty is within, well, then you will see it everywhere. Countdown initiated. Ah, Yoda Green. Hi, Yoda Green. I just saw you in these Twitter streets. Ow. You see, I think fan base is apping. I can't. Wow, I can't even access the chat in fan base today. It is what it is on fan base this morning. But there's some people on YouTube, I don't know who they are, because they have not made themselves known in the chat so that I can say, hey. But that's all right. So, oh, hey, Yoda Green. I think even Twitter is apping today, too. But it is a glorious day. Allegedly. We're supposed to get rain again today. Ah. My workmate said, we're going to get t-shirts made because she had the first catastrophe, which was hail. And I got the second catastrophe, which was rain and the flooding. So your girls in these streets feeling like Noah. Feeling like Noah, I tell you. I said, where's the ark, everybody? With all that rain and seepage and flooding. Oh, my word. So we're going to get t-shirts. I love the rain. Or I survived the rain. Who knows? Anyway, don't let me prattle on. But I trust today that what you heard makes sense. But the only way for you to know is to test yourself. A simple test is to see how many times you can see a coincidence today. That's the simplest test, because as long as you see them, you know that that which was within was now experienced on the outside. As within, so without. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He did it! Yay! I've been trying to get him to do one every time, but he did it today. Yay, itty bitty! Thank you. He's a good boy. My chicken with the gangster lean. I miss you, Surreal. Surreal said that little bit has a gangster lean with that leg. You know what? I'm done. Anyway, I love you. I'll see you on the morrow right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, fan base. And did you know that if you go live on TikTok, your content has to make a certain criteria or they don't let you go live? I'm like, well, I don't even know what the criteria is. I know what my criteria is. So it is the principles. That's how I go live every day. So TikTok says to me, you can reapply in 7 days. So we'll see what happens. Anywho, I love you. I honestly love you. A little bit's late. Can we go? Yes. Mwah. See you tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Fanbase. Peace out.